Yo, 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 YouTube. What up, everybody? We are live. It is May 25th, 2020. The year to end all years. How's everyone doing? We are live in approximately 1 hour. That is 1 hour in total. We will be joined by a dear friend of mine, an amazing individual, Rhys Nybo. Really looking forward to it. So if you're watching this video after the fact, you can, if you want to see the podcast, live podcast with Rhys, you can just fast forward about an hour and you will catch it there. Beforehand, I'm just going to be engaging, building up the audience for this discussion. Oh yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. Whew. I just had a bit of a workout. Feeling good. Oh yeah. I've also maybe had a bit of Monster energy drink, so I am just pumped right now. Just going to double check the live stream, make sure we're doing all good here. Let's see. Oh, it's double check the live. I see what's happening. I'm not getting the real-time updates on the studio. Oh, okay, cool. Truman Being, welcome to the chat. We are going to be talking about many things today, Rhys and I. We're going to be talking about him and his life and what exactly he does. He's a magician, musician, comedian, filmmaker. He does trick videos. He does these fashion comedy things. He does a lot of different things. He's just a very interesting person, individual. And to be honest, we are going to probably start seeing him more on this channel as an additional personality while we're doing our watch parties. I'm kind of setting up a group of people that are going to kind of engage with the content with me. I think it's going to make for more diverse content. So we're going to talk about Down syndrome. We're going to be talking about abortion of Down syndrome fetuses. There's going to be a lot going on. So in an hour's time, 7 p.m. Pacific time, I came on an hour early just to get things rolling, chat with you guys a bit. And yeah, we're going to get into some deep topics here today. Let's go! I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty lately, Warzone. You guys should add me. If you play Call of Duty Warzone, add me. I am Lord-Ethius on COD Warzone. I'll just put this in the chat, so if you guys are watching this later, add me on COD. I'll play with you guys. Yeah, I'm on PS4. Truman Being. Looks like we're going to get some gaming going. I've had quite a few victories lately, so... But today is about the war of ideas, intellectual discourse. Cool. So that's... Oh, maybe that's going to work on there now. But it doesn't give me the actual viewers. I have changed the algorithms a bit too, so I feel like more people are going to see this. But we shall see. Maybe closer to 7. But it all depends on when YouTube's going to like show this stream to everyone. It's hard to really know. It seems like the people who think they know, like you click on a video that says, here's how you maximize your audience viewership during your live streams. Click below for all the secret tips. You click on the secret tips. It's like, make sure you have a super big following and make sure they know when you're going to be online. It's like, okay, those are obvious. So you do all the obvious things, and then sometimes it's just like, oh, no one shows up. But we will see. Either way, this is going to be awesome. Um, awesome to the sawsome. Yeah, I'm usually on for a quick session every night. I guess I'm in Pacific time, so usually around like 12, 11. I usually do have a lot of people trying to play with me, so I won't be able to play all the time. But uh, yeah, you'll you'll hear me and my brother. You just let me fucking die. You wanted me to die, didn't you? Fuck you. That's like us all night. Oh yeah. Make sure you hit the like button when you get in. Um, I'm just doing some sharing and stuff to get more people in the room here. This is scheduled for 7 p.m. Just FYI, everybody. It's interesting. Maybe I'm gonna try reloading that. Should I do that? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just let it roll that way. I will let it roll that way. Andrew T, welcome to the chat. One of our moderators, Andrew T, welcome, welcome. Says, I may or may not have yelled at a small child yesterday when playing online. Yesterday. So you said yesterday twice, so you're obviously amped about what you're talking about. Yeah, I've done that before. I'm like, get a fucking headset, you fucking idiot. And then the kid's like, I do have a headset. I'm like, what have I become? What am I right now? Just look in the mirror. I'm a monster. Like the beast in Beauty and the Beast. I have to open my window in this room. It's hot as balls. His mom yelled at you? Come on. Leave the moms out of it, okay? Can't even imagine my mom on there. So I'm all prepped for this. This is going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this. Yeah, if you guys can go and do some invites on social media for this live stream, that would be sweet. Those of you who are checking in. Hells to the yizzle. Okay. Jesse Peters, welcome back. The guest is Rhys Nybo, aka DJ Vulpix. Rhys and I went to school together when we were young, and he's still one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life. And so we're going to be having a conversation today about many different things. We're going to get into the conversation about Down syndrome, some stigma about Down syndrome and things like that. We're going to get into the topic of aborting fetuses when people have discovered that they actually have Down syndrome. So we're going to get into the ethical conversations about that, what Rhys has to think about that. And I'll throw in my 2 bits as well. Rhys is going to do probably a little bit of magic for us, play a little bit of music. It's going to be awesome. Nothing planned. We're just going to go for it, just like always on this podcast. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Truman Being says, what was Sam Harris like in person? An amazing guy. Sam Harris has a great personality, really kind, caring. Yeah, just a really giving person. Yeah, really good guy. And obviously a great person to have conversations with when you're sitting at a bar or you're having dinner or on the phone. Like just Sam and I had some great conversations together. Yeah, really, really cool guy. Oh, it was chest and arms day today. So I'm like just like feeling it all right here. It's good. Whoa. It says we have 702 watching in the room right now. Uh You mean Reed and Rap says, does Sam Harris find the Ben Affleck comparisons funny? I think you mean the Ben Stiller. I think that's what you're getting at, because Sam does look a lot like Ben Stiller, and people still call him Ben Stiller. Um, oh, what the fuck? Okay, so here's the funny thing about YouTube. Now it says there's 828 watching. Now I want to know, are those bots or are they real people? If you guys are real people, please make a comment in the chat. Even if it's one syllable, one letter. Because just when you think you have the YouTube algorithm figured out, it doesn't do anything, and then all of a sudden, now 952 are in the room, and I'm not convinced that those are actual people because it doesn't boost the chat. But maybe people are just silent and they don't have an ability to engage in the chat. I don't know. But also, we do have a lot of different languages from around the world. Maybe I put something in the algorithm this time that reached them, and they don't. They're not engaging in the chat. Look, 1,080 watching right now. Like, what the fuck? Whatever happens, we will just roll with it, and all is good. But let us know that you're alive in the chat. Smash that like button. On this live stream. I really appreciate it if you do. Keep smashing that like button. Oh yeah. Jesse Peter says, did you tag Minecraft stream? That's probably why. No, I didn't, but that's a good idea. Jesse Peters should be the new publicist for this channel. You seem to get the algorithm. I don't know anything about it. But I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I've been doing my research as much as I can. Truman Being says, maybe you got boosted. I don't know, man. I've stopped acting like I know what's going on when it comes to that. It says there's 1,238 in the room right now. Again, the chat doesn't seem to have been boosted that much, so I don't know. Maybe... See, and a lot of people have been complaining that they're not getting the live streams. Like, it takes so long for YouTube to release mine, but most come out right away. And I wonder if it has to do with, I know ever since I started releasing videos that have Jordan Peterson in the title or in the description, it seems to take longer for them to release. So I don't know if Jordan Peterson is flagged as this name that... if he's to do with your channel, there's going to be extra vetting or something before your videos are released. But I don't know. I like Jordan's not in the description for this live stream, so who the fuck knows? Okay, it says 1242 watching right now in the room. Again, what the fuck? Reed and Rap says maybe it's a glitch. We had one live stream, it was pretty recently, where we had, I think it said we had like 4,000 in the room. And the chat did speed up a lot, but there definitely wasn't 4,000 in the room. Although I have seen like a Fox News like live stream or like CNN live stream, and if there's like 10,000 in the room, it's like the chat isn't really moving that fast. But I mean, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Klaus Bukowski, welcome, says it's a holiday. Everyone's bored. True, and COVID. Truman Being says, agree, what the fuck? I don't know, man. I've stopped even looking, caring. And it's a weird thing, like, after this live stream, it will, when the live stream actually gets out there and is released, they won't count that as views. They'll count it as just that's how many watched live. It's really weird. But whatever. I guess we'll treat it as though they are actual human beings and not bots. Or maybe someone's just fucking with the channel, which sucks because it probably fucks up with who can actually see what is going on. Uh, yeah. But we got 45 minutes until the podcast is going to start. If you guys have any questions, any topics you want to talk about in the meantime, we can do that. Meanwhile, I'm just sharing with different Facebook groups. I've also started sharing these streams with more Facebook groups as well. Maybe that's having an effect. Maybe people are coming in to check it out. They don't want to comment, which is fine. But yeah, it's all good. And I know some people can't like the stream if you're on certain devices. They can just listen to it and comment. I don't know. That's what some people have said. But all of that is insignificant to the actual conversation we're going to have. Iron Charioter, welcome back, says, what podcast? So the gentleman in the featured in the video right now says RN under his name, Rhys Nybo. So Rhys is a guy I went to high school with. He's a few years older than me, I think a couple of years. But to this day, he's still one of the most extraordinary people I've ever known. He does so many different things. He's a DJ. He's a magician. He creates his own live streams and YouTubes as well. And he's just fascinating. I can't take my eyes off his live streams. And we're going to get into the deeper conversations of what that is. But yeah, this is podcast number 45. I was going to get the Donald, but I called up Donald and I was like, can he jump on? He's like, how many people will be watching? I was like, maybe only 1,000. And he was like, that's not enough. If it's 10,000, I'll make it. And I was like, I can't promise that. So yeah, Donald couldn't make it. The Don couldn't make it. The Ronald, my Donald. Captain Orange, whatever his name is. Whatever you want to call number 45. Iron Chariot says, Pangburn, I love you. Not in that way, you dirty devil. Oh, I know the way you love me. You love my sexy Abdullah Oblongata. Truman Being says, have you ever been addicted to any substance? Outside of sugar and salt? I think we've all dealt with sugar and salt. I think you mean like recreational substance? No, not that I know of. Probably, although I will say this. I was, after I had a really bad concussion about 4 or 5 years ago, I was put on a trial because the concussion triggered this terrible like panic disorder of panic attacks and things like that. So I was put on benzodiazepines, the same thing that Jordan Peterson got all fucked up on and he's recovering from right now. But I was put on benzodiazepines for a while to stop the panic attacks, which it's the only drug on the market that can actually do that. So I was put on those for a while, but then had to be weaned off. It wasn't that I was addicted, but your body, it's like I wasn't craving using them, but you just felt like absolute shit if you didn't have it in your body for a while. So I had that experience. But caffeine, never. I haven't done much caffeine. Like I'm having caffeine today, which I try. Well, it's not that I even try not to. It's like my energy levels are just generally so high that I don't need caffeine or else I just bounce off the walls. But I don't know. I would say in maybe the past like 3 months, I've felt like I've needed a bit of a boost in the morning. So I've been drinking a little bit of coffee, but it'll literally be like a half a cup. And I'm just like, woo! Read and Reap says, Benzos are super powerful. I was on them when I had surgery. Yeah. I don't know if they should be prescribing Benzos for post-surgery unless you're dealing with panic or extreme levels of anxiety. Like honestly, the hardcore like pain medicines are probably better because Benzos, I believe they have Benzos rated at like the top of the list of addictability, like above alcohol, above heroin. So yeah, it's a tough one. But it does what it's supposed to do. Iron Charioteer says at Pangburn, what the fuck is happening in Brazil? Is that country a shithole country and Trump don't care? What is going on in Brazil? I don't know what you're referring to. Let us know in the chat, Iron Charioteer. Okay, now we have 1170 in the room, apparently. If you're just hanging out, give us a wave or say hello. I'm interested to know how many are actually real people. Reap and Rap says, yeah, I didn't want them at first, but it was kind of a last resort type thing. Yeah, it must have been. Because I know that any good doctor worth their weight will not prescribe benzos loosely. They might prescribe like one Ativan for like a flight or something, or like one or two, but as an actual, to write a prescription for more as a kind of a method to help control what you're dealing with. Yeah. Truman Being says, so no illicit or generally harmful substances. Good job, man. I'm in the struggle now and have to strive to be better. What do you Truman Being, let me know what you're struggling with. A. Owen says, UK in the house. Welcome to Pangburn from the UK. If you guys are not subscribed, please subscribe. You know you wanna. Please subscribe. Someone hit the thumbs down button on this stream. Let's find that bitch. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure they had a really good reason. They didn't like my haircut or whatever. I'm feeling really fresh with my new haircut. Got my beard trimmed nice and fine. I'm feeling good. All right, I'm going to let my personal Facebook page know that I am live right now. I am live. Join me before the podcast. I was going to have a beer. Maybe I'll take a break during the podcast and crack a beer. Let's post that. And my story, yeah. I'll post it on my story and my feed. Changes you make will apply to any photos and videos currently in your story in addition. Okay. I'll do that. I never post to story on Facebook. I'll be saving your story archive. Okay, cool. This is rad. A. Owen says, lots of viewers on this episode. Thanks, Jesse. Jesse says, it wasn't me. I liked this stream. That's the kind of people we want. A. Owen says, lots of viewers on this episode. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out the YouTube algorithm better, to better serve the channel, make sure more people get to see the live streams. And I've been actually in a back and forth kind of complaining about that because a lot of people are like, YouTube never notifies me about Pangburn live streams. I always have to find out from Facebook. Like, we have 87,000 followers on here. It's like, we should be able to get a couple thousand per live stream. Yet, and this is what I've been talking with YouTube about, but who knows? I just want the people who want to see this content be able to see it. That's all I want. Big shout out to Andrew T, the moderator, one of our Pangburn moderators. Yeah, it looks like, and you said considering the Larry Krause numbers, yeah, because again, like with Lawrence, we didn't have a lot in there for the live stream, but right after, all of a sudden we bumped up to like 5.1K people who got to view it. It was like once it was released after the live stream, everyone then saw that it was happening. But I think it's unique about my channel, and I think it has something to do with Jordan Peterson, also some like Nazi conversations that I've had on here. Johnny5 says, say booty juice TM and I'll give you $1. I just said it. $1 super chat. You owe it, Johnny. Pay up. I'm going to say it. How many times can I say it? 100 times? Is that $100? A. Owen says, just strange. Yeah, let me know when you guys get in the room. Let me know where you're from, where you're tuning in from. We got the UK in the house. We got some of you down in the States. We got some Canadians. Iron Charioteer says Bolsonaro is doing exactly what Trump is doing and denying uh, the virus. His country is suffering right now with 1,000 deaths per day. Oh God, opening the virus can of worms. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna do a live stream soon here. Probably, actually, the next live stream on here, I'll do a COVID-19 update, and we'll talk about what I'm seeing, and then I want to hear from you guys what you're seeing. And we'll try not to get into that conversation here because I think we need a full video for that. But any other philosophical topic, let's go at it. We got about a half hour until our guest Reece is on the air. Iron Charioteer says, my doctor says I have an addictive personality. What does that mean? That's why she would not give me benzos. Yeah. God. Drug-seeking behavior. No, addictive personality it's pretty common. Like when people find strong avenues of pleasure, generally people move towards those and want to glom onto those. So I think addictive personalities are a lot more common. Obviously, there's going to be different degrees of that, but we were talking to someone about Truman. We were talking to Truman. Oh, just Truman followed up about the substance abuse with just alcohol and weed. Honestly, weed has been really beneficial to me, but drinking has taken a notable toll on my life. Yes, crack a beer, man. Yes, alcohol, man. Whew. With this COVID-19 stretch we've been through, people being locked in the house with nothing else to do, everyone's partying like it's 19 whatever, and they're kind of using it as an excuse to binge drink. A lot of people are like, what else? Like it's become this cute thing on social media to be like, what else is there to do? Like drinking their wine and everything. This doesn't come without a price, everyone. It's alcohol is hard on our systems, and you can start growing a dependency for it. It's not just something you can take lightly. I decided to try and go. Well, not try and go. I decided to go completely dry, even though I'm like a person that only drinks if like other people are drinking. Like I'll have a couple of drinks, but like I never keep like beer in the house typically or wine or anything like that. I can't drink red wine, by the way. I have like this terrible allergic reaction now in my like gastrointestinal system. It's just like like blows up. But yeah, alcohol, you got to be careful with that. And I know it's easier said than done once it hooks you. I've witnessed alcoholism in my family, and I'll tell you, it turns people into monsters. It has them acting erratically and forgetting and doing just stupid shit. And it's so harmful to not only the people using but those around them. So obviously seeking doctoral care is the best thing. There's no quick fix to this. It's an ugly, grueling battle to try and get clean off something like alcohol, and it's, man, my spirit is with you. Vic Vaughn back in the house. Welcome. Okay, now it jumped up to, okay, it was just at 996 watching. Now it jumped up to 1795. What the fuck? Truman Being says it tears families apart. Yes, it does. And yes, again, and you mentioned weed. Marijuana, I get huge benefits. So I take marijuana medicinally. Just a couple puffs per week really is all I need. And it's the only thing that really works on the type of tension headaches I get. I get severe tension headaches, especially when I've done a lot of thinking in a day. Like if I've been writing lots and I've just been thinking or deep concept thinking, all the tension like builds in the back of my neck and nothing relieves it, like massage, nothing. It's it's all nerve pain. So the nerve pain gets relieved by psychoactive things like alcohol and marijuana. So, but it helps a lot. But yeah, I noticed that if I take too much weed, it makes me very unproductive and like slow moving. It really slows down my brain, which at some points is a good thing. But uh, yeah, well, it looks like we got 1,700 in the room according to YouTube. How many of those are alien bots? I would not know. Iron Charioteer says, Pangburn, how would you solve the problem of evil? Skepticism, skepticism, skepticism. The foundation, if everyone adopted as their foundation and was trained into it, and this is why I fight to have skepticism 101, 102, 103, 104, all through high school, kindergarten to grade 12, skepticism should always be in the curriculum. And it's showing you how to apply skepticism to all aspects in your life. If you are someone that has a strong skeptical foundation, um, engaging in modes of evil becomes almost impossible if you are fully engaging. If you are applying skepticism to your emotional states, to your uh, to your behavior, to your pleasure drives, to everything, applying skepticism to your pleasure drive essentially eradicates evil because evil aspects of our nature do not want to be met with rationality. It's once it's met with rationality, we cringe at evil thoughts. But if our left brain completely shuts down and the pleasure drive is only interacting with the imaginative and creative side of our right brain, then then you're going to have no rationality stepping in to be like, wait a second, don't touch that child. Wait a second, don't go kill that person. Don't go find different ways to deal with your alcohol abuse. Seek doctoral care. Stop telling yourself you can do it on your own. All these different things. Um, Bushcraft Adventure, welcome, welcome. Uh, bo- Bodhisattva. We have a hater in the house. That's okay. We have room for haters. Bodhisattva says, this is very low IQ conversation. Can you qualify that claim? Let's hear you qualify it, or else it's just a claim. Um, Bushcraft Adventure says, hi, Pangburn. Are you part of the ACA, Atheist Community of Austin? I mean, I love the ACA. I follow all their stuff. I've worked with Matt Dillahunty on tons of defense, sometimes with the sheer goal of getting Matt Dillahunty and the kind of the atmosphere that is created by the Atheist Experience TV show, that atmosphere, and trying to bring it to people like Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Lawrence Krauss, all these people that I wanted to see Matt have conversations with, because I think Matt knows how to lay a good groundwork and foundation for a great conversation. And he's also funny as hell. Um, Bodhisattva says your explanation of tension spelt wrong, headaches, while dot dot dot. Body, if you're going to call out the conversation uh, for being very low IQ, you didn't even complete a sentence. Like, what are you talking about? Bushcraft Adventure says, I love the Atheist Experience. You could say I used to watch it religiously. Yeah, me too. That's how I fell in love with many of the personalities, everything the ACA stands for, and of course Matt Dillahunty, who I think is their bull that really drives that thing forward. Yeah, Read and Rap says, I'm not sure how someone would be able to evaluate someone's IQ from a few sentences on a YouTube chat. Yeah, whenever someone comes in into a chat and says, this conversation is low IQ, it's like, okay, what are you basing that on? Do you disagree with a specific point? And usually when you ask them, they got nothing. So I've asked Bodhi what they're talking about. They can't put a sentence together. So let's see if he comes back and says something. Okay. Bodhi says, Sattva says, I'm out in the woods. My app is freezing. You keep pronouncing my name incorrectly. Do you know what a bodhisattva is? No, I don't. So now you're the irony. I know, this is what I'm talking about, Andrew T. It's like the irony. And then he gives us I'm not oh, Body. I do love having people like Body in the chat though. Bodhisattva, the original pleasure drive. Yes. Yes. Um Oh, maybe Body is anti-atheist, perhaps. Yeah, that's awesome. How's it going, Reese? How's it going? How's it going, brother? Yeah, the rest of the chat can't hear you right now. Oh, okay. The rest of the chat can't hear you right now because we're just having a general conversation until we get started at about 7 p.m. If that's okay with you. Nice. I'm gonna do a quick test with. I'm gonna do a quick test with you, Reese. I just want to know if you can hear something I'm going to play here. So just tell me if you can hear. Guys, I'm just doing a kind of a bit of a tech run with Reese here. Reese, can you hear yourself here? Yeah, can you hear? I'm I'm playing your I'm actually playing your joke right now. Remember your rice noodle joke? Can, you? I don't know if you can hear it, which means you might not be able to hear it when I play it for everyone. But can you hear this? You probably can't. Okay, so that's okay. During this stream, I'll play a few videos, but you won't be able to hear them. But that's okay. Um, so I'm just gonna do a quick. Yeah, you're a little bit pixelated on your end, Reese, but I think it'll probably get better. I'm gonna shrink the window down a little bit. Oh, that'll help, I think. Okay, cool. Yeah, and just when we do start, Reese, just make sure your whole yeah, yeah, just make sure your whole head is in the shot so we can see you. Yeah, yeah, that's good. For when we start, that'll be good. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll be good. Awesome. So just hang tight there, Reese, and we'll get you on in a minute. Booty Sat. Vic Vaughn says Booty Satva. Pretty sure a stripper name. That's pretty good. I like that. Booty Satva. Uh, Bodhisattva says, you are a philosopher, but you don't know what a bodhisattva is? Not even curious? Low IQ. So you just made a determination that I'm not even curious just because I didn't research it right away or ask you exactly what it was? That doesn't mean someone's not curious. That's an there's so many fallacies going on in what you're saying. It's hard to even keep track. Uh, what's the bio for our guest or bio for your guest, A. Owens? So the guest we're having today, the only thing I'm going to give you guys, because I want you guys to get to know Reece from the ground up. I think it's really important, and I don't want to give away too much, but Reece Nybo is a guy I've known my whole life. We went to high school together, and he's a magician, a musician, a comedian, a filmmaker, and there's a really cool fact about the filmmaker aspect that we're going to talk about. But he does trick videos, he does fashion, he does all these really cool things that, and he's just an interesting human, and I think the world needs more Reece Nible, and that is why Reece is number 45 in the podcast, and he is going to be coming on live in about 20 minutes. So and I'm going to start off the conversation with Reece talking about something that I think is very important, and it's very and why it's important to have conversations with people like Reece, and why I want to bring Reece on to our watch parties and have Reece more involved in the channel. His perspective, something I'm going to talk about is I think the left side of Reece's brain, Reece's left brain, Reece's right brain is off the charts. It is from the creative aspect, from the creative intelligence aspect of what's to be offered from the human brain, Reece's brain is off the charts. But I want to delve more into left brain things with Reece to get a sense of what is Reece ideologically. What does he think about the world? And how that's going to evolve after engaging with myself in these conversations, and how we are all going to evolve with Reece from what he has to offer us on the right brain of things. And I think the world has a lot to learn from Reece Nybo, so that's why he's number 45. I did call up the Donald because he's president number 45, but Donald Trump was unavailable. He also heard that Reece was second in line, and he kind of bowed out of the way because he just knew Reece Nybo was just going to cook him on the popularity scale. Okay, let's see here. What do we got? Bodhisattva's camping. Camping is good. Bodhisattva says, I see his buttons get pushed easily. I can't help myself. What buttons? And I'm also self-declared world's best boss, by the way. That's why I got the mug. And just so you guys know, Reece is going to be coming to us live from his cell phone. So there might be a bit of grainy footage throughout this, but it's all good in the hood. We will get it all sorted out and looking good. Bodhi, just a general question. What do you think about atheism, Bodhi? So you admit you're a troll. Bodhisattva says 1.5k people watching, and the troll gets all the attention. Nice. Sure, why not? Trolls need love too. Everyone give love to the troll, Bodhi. But in all honesty, Bodhi, I'm glad you're engaging with the chat. And criticism, awesome. Love it. Vic Vaughn says trolling is high IQ. Oh yeah. Okay, it looks like our connection is pretty good today, guys. No weirdness. Obviously, right when we start the podcast, the connection's going to go to shit. Everything will die. My computer will explode. And Reece's phone's going to explode. And it's just like, nothing will work. But that's just the way it goes. I can hear Reece laughing on the other line. Reece, if you do have any other devices hooked up to the internet, maybe kill them just so we can improve your you're streaming a little bit. Yeah, that would be good. Let's see. Do you want to try? I'm gonna try reconnecting here, Rhys. Just one second. Uh, Rhys, do you want to try disconnecting and reconnecting? No, just from this stream. Just disconnect from this chat, this window, and then reconnect. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. All right, that's a lot better, Rhys. That looks way better. Nice. That's way better. Are you hearing me nice and clear, Rhys? Okay, cool. Okay, nice. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna make your window a little smaller. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, we got 1,454 people in the room right now, guys, according to YouTube. Who knows if how many are bots, how many are aliens? But we are close. We're about 50 minutes away from getting going. Looks like you guys have been hacking up the chat already, which is good. That's a good thing. Engage in the chat. Let us know where you guys are listening from. It's all good. Okay, 2212. Okay, that's good too. Nice. Yeah, we're looking like we got pretty good connection today. Woohoo! All right. I'm just going to double check the Twitterverse. Going to make sure. I'm going to do a quick video. Am I? No, I'm not. I'm just going to do one more post on Twitter. Make sure everyone knows we are live. Thomas Anderson says, isn't Pangburn in support of atheism? Or am I incorrect for assuming that? Yeah, I'm an atheist, and just so we're operating on the same definition, there have been tens of thousands of gods proclaimed to be existing all around us, and I haven't seen any of them meet their burden of proof to demonstrate that they actually are existing. So that is what atheism is, and that's what that position is. Very bad. As long as you're willing to admit your radicalization, body, it's all good. All right, we are 13 minutes from go time. Quick tweet. Looks like your stream's looking good there, Rhys. Right on. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. Thomas Anderson says, but most atheists don't even understand what evidence, quote, evidence is in a theological or philosophical framework. They erroneously assume that evidence for God should arrive in a scientific domain. That's what we colloquially mean by evidence. So, and if you're talking about an idea existing or the metaphor of God existing, like Jordan Peterson talks about, then I can't even think of an atheist that would deny that the metaphor exists. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about if I hold up this mug exists in reality. We can test it. Yes, we apply the scientific method to it and we say this mug exists. If you're going to claim that a God exists in reality, or if you're going to claim that God exists outside of reality, you still have to demonstrate it. You have to demonstrate your claim. You can't get away from it. Yes, the concept, any God concept has not met its burden of proof for existing. You're not going to get away from it. You don't get to play a logical juggling match to try to demonstrate that your God exists. The rules of logic still apply. All right, we got 1483 in the room. We're going to get going in 10 minutes. Andrew T, Bushcraft, Thomas, Iron, thanks for engaging in the chat. You guys rock. Make sure you hit the like button on this stream, guys. Up to 24 likes. We got 1,500 in the room. Make sure you're smashing that like button. And make sure you guys can see facebook.com/Rhys.Nybo. Make sure you go over and you follow Rhys. If you go over to his Facebook, you'll find links to his YouTube channel. You'll find links to his Instagram. And if you can't find him, just ask him. He will tell you. Send him a message. He wants to be your friend. Okay, cool. Rhys and I are going to get into it today, guys. We're going to be getting deep into many different topics. Some are going to be easy to talk about. Some are going to be more difficult. Oh, we got more from Body. Body says, I can't deal with the pseudo-intellectualism. Such as? Pangburn, or whatever his name is, needs to get his shit together. Okay? Let's see if you qualify any of this or if you're just claim vomiting again. I didn't mean to troll. Sometimes I just say what I'm thinking. Can't help it. So you're not qualifying any of your claims, Body. You're not qualifying anything. You're just making claims. It's claim vomit. Thomas Anderson, the strangest claim of the day, says atheism is pseudo-intellectualism when it comes to religion. Demonstrate the fucking claim. If you're going to make the claim that a God exists, demonstrate the fucking claim. You can't just tap dance around and try to get away from it. You can act like you're tap dancing all day, but you can whine and complain about the rules of logic and the scientific method, but you can't get away from it. You demonstrate your claim or let the claim die. Bushcraft, you're so right. Bushcraft says it right. Bushcraft Adventure for the win says, Thomas, you don't get to define your own standard of evidence. 100%. 100%. We are 9 minutes from the podcast, the live podcast. The stream strength is strong with this one. Oh, yeah. Yes, Rhys, the force is strong with this one today. We got 1,697 people watching in the room. Please hit the like button on this stream. You know you wanna. Yeah, what you're engaging in, Thomas, this is called special pleading. Look up special pleading fallacies. There's a few of them. Vic Vaughn's, yeah, you said so many people watching but no comments. Yeah, that's the thing. I've been communicating with YouTube and I've complained many times that a lot of you are complaining saying, I never get to see the live streams until after they are actually published. I'm not getting a notification for when Pangburn is actually live. So maybe they're trying. This is something where they're trying to fix it. I know we have a lot of listeners and subscribers from other countries, non-English speaking countries. Maybe that's what's going on here. They don't want to comment or whatever, but it does seem, again, like there's something impeding commenting, or there's bots in the system, or something's going on. But YouTube has been notified, and I hope they're like paying attention to this. I'm going to use this as another example for them of what's going on when we try to go live on this channel. And like I was saying before, it's like ever since I started working with Jordan Peterson, it's like the channel has an extra step or an extra flag that we have to pass through or something. Like it takes a while. Watch, by the way, after this is published, like after the Lawrence Krauss podcast was published, it took like 8 hours for it to actually arrive and be published on the channel, which is strange because when I used to do live streams, it would come up right away. So something is going on, something's being flagged, it's holding up the process, and I've pled with YouTube to sort it out. But with 87,000 followers on this channel, we should be able to get at least a few thousand in the room for every live stream. And they agree with me, and I've told them that if there are accounts fucking this up, just remove them from the channel. So hopefully they are going to do that. We got 5 minutes until we're going to be talking with my buddy Rhys. We're going to be having a general chit chat about many different things. You guys are going to get to meet Rhys, who's one of the most fascinating people I've ever known in my life. I see you waving there, Rhys, out of the corner of my eye, but they can't see you yet. But I see the bull horns. I see the heart figurine. Now I hear you laughing. It's all good. Andrew T. We got to hear what Andrew T., the moderator, has to say about this conversation that's going on. At Thomas Anderson. The scientific evidence just documents that people have mystical experiences due to consistent psychological influences. They do not in any way verify they are divine in origin. Andrew T. for the win. This is why Andrew T. is a moderator on this channel. He is a logician. There is some logic for Thomas. Thomas responds with Iron Charioteer. Yes, there is. Run a Google Scholar search for mystical experience in quotations, and you'll find that you're just simply wrong about that. Yeah. Thomas, if you can demonstrate the existence of any God that you've chosen to believe in the existence of, you win the Nobel Prize. You claim to know, so show us the evidence and you win the Nobel Prize. You will be the most famous intellectual, the most famous thinker in the history of mankind. You win. Yeah, exactly. What YouTube channels are you watching, by the way? Let's... Okay, this is great. We're hovering around 1,500 people watching in the room. Hit that like button, guys. We're going to get started in about 4 minutes. I think I'm going to play the War of Ideas tune right now just to get us in the mood. Just FYI, Rhys, don't say anything because your mic is now live. No, they can't see you, though. I'm just going to play the War of Ideas to get us in the mood, yo. This is a tune I composed right before the Matt Dillahunty, Dinesh D'Souza debate and conversation. This was the third successful event that I produced on Broadway in New York City, and I think it was a couple nights before, maybe a week before that event, I composed this when I was just up pacing one night with my music production software. So you guys should be able to hear this. All right. Everyone has to play air drums when the drums come on. Just like they're here. Shaka. And if you guys haven't seen that yet, please watch Dillahunty vs. Susan. It is on this channel. It's almost at 200,000 views. All right, all. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Pangburn podcast. We are live. We are live, and this is going to be a casual conversation with the one, the only Rhys Nybo. I'm going to bring Rhys's camera into view. Let's see. Okay, now I'm going to adjust this window because I adjusted Rhys's video a little bit. There we go. Rhys, we can hear you now. How's it going, my friend?
Doing good.
Yeah. How are things in the Kootenays?
Oh, doing well. It's being nice and sunny out. Been rainy once in a while.
Yeah.
Things are coming around. Things are budding up and just springing up, basically.
Nice. Yeah. Um, how's COVID-19 affected the Kootenays? For those of you guys who don't know, Rhys and I both grew up in the Kootenay region of British Columbia, and it's a collection of a bunch of different small towns, and Rhys is in one of the bigger towns. But I was just curious to know, Rhys, how has the COVID-19 epidemic affected your life and also what's going on in your hometown?
Well, how it has affected me is that not doing so great in isolation.
Yeah,
Point A. Point B, it is a change. I don't like change as much, but thing is just doing my part and just helping to stop the spread of COVID-19. I don't like what's going on, but my heart is with everyone. I keep in my thoughts and in my prayers in regards to this.
right. Well, I think that's a good attitude to have. You're doing your best. You're taking precautions. Do you think the world in general, the way you see it when you're looking out at the world, do you think everyone has been acting rationally with this, or do you think there's certain people for instance, how do you think Donald Trump has handled this whole thing? Just even if you haven't watched a ton of what he's doing, how do you think he's generally doing, or how do you think the world leaders are generally doing?
Well, it varies depend on the leader,
Yeah,
but um, my take on Donald Trump and what he's doing right now is not so great right now, even
yeah,
though he does have the heart, but he's not showing his actual loving heart that he does have.
right. So you think maybe he's not applying as much urgency, would you say, than he
A
should
little bit,
be?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Okay. There's something. So I just wanted to get that off the top, and then we don't have to talk anymore COVID-19 for the rest of this. But everyone, yes, today we're talking with Rhys Nybo. Rhys and I went to high school together in a very, very small village in the Kootenay region of British Columbia, and you guys can Google that region. It's basically like living in the mountains, surrounded by lakes and bears and all kinds of different beasts. But that's how we grew up, didn't we, Rhys?
He did.
You just have like wildlife all around you. Okay, I wanted to start off with this. So I find your videos, for those of you who don't know, Rhys creates his own content. He does his own live streams, creating videos all the time, creates music. Uh, so I find your videos relaxing, funny, inspiring in this really unique way that I can't get enough of. They make me feel really good. I can't stop watching your live streams, by the way. Um, the sheer humanity displayed is what's inspiring to me, I think, and it's really unique for a content creator to at least to be able to grasp me in that way. So I think people in general can learn a lot from you, and this is
Well, thank you.
why I wanted to do this podcast. Your right brain function, so the right side of your brain, uh, seems to be off the charts to me, like at a very high level. And the right brain functions include artistic awareness, imagination, creativity, music
Mhm.
awareness. And I want to share that with the world and selfishly have the opportunity to interact with it one on one, like just for myself, right? I get a lot of uh, um, mental health benefits from engaging with you and watching you work. So that is the selfish part of this. And I think it really can help me and others better cope with existence and what existence is to a human being. Now, what I think through the series of conversations that I hope we get to have, Rhys, I think I can help you with activating the true potential of your left brain functions, the logic, science, analytics part of your brain, understanding what is actually going on in the cosmos. And I think by demonstrating the change that we can affect each other, I think that will yield great results to those who come across this content. So, through our series of conversations, what changes can take place by having great conversations? And that's why I wanted to have you uh, on today, Rhys.
See.
Awesome. So, let's start off with this. Tell us all, tell the world, who is Reece Nible? Can you hear me? There might be a bit of delay. We may have a bit of a delay, folks. Can you hear me, Reece?
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Oh, okay. So why
Yeah.
don't you tell us all who is Reece Nible?
Well, Rhys Nybo, looking at myself and the inside, my mental state, and just looking at it, and the whole thing is just joy, love, passion, drive, artistic, very musical, full of love, and the lover of all people.
Right. And you have this massive list of skills. Like you're a magician, a musician, comedian, filmmaker. By the way, we have to talk about something to do with your filmmaking. You make trick videos, and like all of your videos have a lot of joy. You just mentioned joy a few times
Well, thank
in
you.
what you were talking about, but they have a lot of joy. Um, so why don't you talk about like what makes you want to share so much with the world?
Because they need a lot of entertainment out there to grasp a hold and to make them feel happy and moved and uplifted and
Inspired.
yeah,
Yeah,
inspired and even motivational too, like do motivational things as well too.
yeah. And what when you do this kind of work, motivating, inspiring, what kind of feedback do you get from people?
I get really good positive remarks
Yeah,
in regards to that. Some may say some things differently, but most of all, is pretty positive.
yeah. Do you ever get any criticism or hate?
Sometimes,
Yeah. And what?
yeah.
Tell me some of the hateful things you've heard.
Oh boy. can't quite remember, but I know that there was a few people have said about things in my like telekinesis and whatnot like that, and just being um, just kind of rude, basically.
Yeah. So as far as the telekinesis go, can you still hear me there? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And as far as the telekinesis goes, is it you're like acting like you're doing telekinesis, and then someone's like, you can't really do telekinesis?
Little bit, but not really on the acting side. In that part,
Right.
it's like a tutorial, let alone
Oh,
other
okay.
things as well, besides
So
as that too. But I don't fabricate things. I don't. That's not me.
right. So you're essentially actually believing in the things that you do if you present them.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So talking about filmmaking for a second, the first film I ever starred in my life was your film in high school. Do you remember?
I do.
What? Let's start off. What was that? What inspired you to make that film? And it was a horror film, wasn't it?
It was. It was called there's actually like I think it was two. One was the Possessed in the Demons game,
Yeah.
and then there was a sci-fi kind of like of one, which was called The Year of the Falling. But the main one was the Possessed in the Demons game. It
Right.
was.
I remember
It
that
was
title. And yes, I remember that, and I remember we shot it all around town. There was different locations. Do you still have a copy of that?
I'm trying to find it, but yes, I do have the copy.
You know what we could do that would be really fun is we could watch it together live on this channel. That would be a lot of fun, wouldn't it?
That would be
You're distracted by someone. Is someone giving you a signal?
no, this just my cat there.
Oh, so you have a cat.
I do.
Yeah? What's your cat's name?
Midnight.
Midnight. Why did you name
Can
your
be
cat
can be a
Midnight?
handful.
Can be a handful, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did you choose the name Midnight?
He came with the name at Midnight, and
Oh, okay.
absolutely love that name.
Yeah. And did you adopt it, or did you get Midnight as a kitten, or tell me
No,
about that process?
from the SPCA.
Okay, from the
SPCA.
SPCA. Yeah. Tell me about that whole process. What's it been like to raise another living thing?
Um, Kind of difficult a little bit, but
Yeah.
all's good.
In what way? Tell me.
I'm just trying to like deal with cat and cat activities.
Yeah. Such as?
That's hard. I'm just trying to like I'm stop climbing up on things.
Yeah. So you have to do a bit of training, of course.
A little bit, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. And something I've always noticed about you as well, you've always been able to maintain really good physical shape. You're always in good shape.
Well,
How
thank you.
how have you been able to do that? What's your secret? I must know.
There is a few things that I do. One is I watch what I eat.
Yeah.
I don't eat crap like deep fried stuff
Yeah.
and staying away from lot um or certain oils and
Hmm.
other things like that, and just trying to keep exercising.
Yeah.
Um,
What kind of exercising do you do?
I do mainly fast walking.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that's all that
So
I do.
so light you keep your exercising pretty light?
I do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's kind of the same as me. I've been doing some weightlifting recently, but I my body works better if I'm doing light exercising, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um So okay, so you're in great shape physically. How would you describe your mental health state?
Oh boy,
Give
it's
it to me, Reese. Give it to me. Give it to me raw.
it's so and so.
Yeah, up and down.
I um was diagnosed with depression.
Yeah, you and I
Yeah,
both, brother.
it comes in waves,
Yeah,
and then it got a little bit too much afterwards, and then it turned differently into clinical afterwards.
yeah. So you and I both, man, we both suffer from clinical depression. When it gets to its darkest for you, its darkest level, what does that do to your body? What does it do to your life?
Somewhat kind of like makes me fold inward,
Yeah,
and it becomes like a weight
yeah,
at times, not all the time.
yeah. Does it affect your sleep?
Yes, it has. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
I have insomnia.
Oh, yeah. Have you talked to your doctor about that?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hope your doctor's giving you a good workup and you guys will tackle that because good sleep's important, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So currently, right now, you're doing a lot of trick videos. I've noticed you're doing magic, you're doing music. Do you have your music set up? Could you play a bit for us?
I have my iPad here. I have a disco number.
Yeah, play it. Let's hear some.
Here it goes.
Yeah, crank it.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's my style, man. Yeah,
I love
groove, man.
I love to dance too.
Yeah, dance it up.
Especially when I do live streams. I like adding a dance to what I do.
Yeah, man. I like that's my kind of music. I like the disco stuff. Awesome. Awesome.
Dance
You can kill it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. That's cool, man. So did you create that whole tune, or is it just something you play like as a DJ, or did you create the actual music?
Well, yes and no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's like it is a genre, but I made it into a track.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
And I do add my original stuff to it as well too. It is a launch pad
Oh, okay.
that's onto this.
And you
That's what my
can
stuff is.
and the launch pad, you'll like press a button and it will add samples to what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
I can import certain music that I have for loops and put it on.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, so next time what we'll do is we'll make it so that you're kind of patched into my system so we can really hear it. Because right now we can't hear it too well. But yeah, no, thanks for the sample. That's awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that bass line.
I can turn it up a little bit, right?
Yeah, there we go. That's cool, man. Yeah.
very expressive when it comes to dance.
Yeah, I love it. Let's see what chat's saying. Let's see what chat's saying.
But yeah, I
Awesome,
like the
cool. Happy
main genre.
beats. Chuckle Cuck says happy beats. Um,
Aw.
let's see. We got a couple people in the chat saying hello to you. There's a lot of people in the
Hello
chat. We
back.
got 1,473 people watching. Um, yeah, we had a few people say hello. Yeah, so that's really cool, man. I love that whole vibe. We need to collab and create a couple tunes together. I think.
We
I,
do.
I think that
We
would be
definitely
really
do.
cool. Yeah. So let's get into this next. I'm just going to ask you. I want you to vamp on this a bit for a while, and just I want to hear your stream of consciousness on this.
Okay.
What is life?
Well, there's different sections in life. There is outer and inner, as well as the middle part of life.
Hmm.
And there's all different kinds of spectrums
Yeah.
in there as well too. It's what a person chooses, what they do in each one of their lives as well too. Yes, certain parts there is a choice, now as well as what is to see and what is to hold. Life in itself is precious, and we need to cherish it.
Right. I
It's a
mean,
gift.
yeah. So from like just a purely scientific perspective, we are all so lucky just to even live one blink of life. Just the amount of luck that we've had to even get the smallest sniff at what it is to live is just so. We're just so lucky to be here, in however we get to experience that. Do you feel lucky to be alive?
Yes,
Yeah.
but there are times it can um, wind back.
Right.
But I'm happy and born to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I like that. It
It,
makes me happy to have me here and to have all of you here as well too.
cool. Yeah, it feels good to share, doesn't it?
It does.
Because
I love to
like you
share.
and I are very similar that way. We each get a lot of pleasure out of sharing with others, and I've always been that way. Like I love sharing with others. I love having conversations, sharing my art, and you seem to be the same way. And I want people to at least be able to feel some aspect of the pleasure you can get out of sharing art and sharing ideas with one another.
I know that there's a lot in regards to like people with the same talents and that
Right.
as what you said about you and art and music and the same as me, but not as that it goes into other things like I looked at it in the science and like because I looked at my sign which was Capricorn,
Okay.
same as a Taurus basically,
Right.
and they both share the same qualities and skill, and that's we are.
And why?
We are
And here, I'm going to jump in here. Why do you think the star signs have anything to do with what's actually going on in reality?
because we are all connected to the universe in one way or another.
So I agree, so I will agree with you 100% on that because we are
Think
all composed of stardust, right?
exactly.
Exploding stars created all the elements of what we are. But I think the whole. Oh, sorry, your screen froze. Are you still there? Oh,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
still here.
I think there was just a bit of a delay. I think everything, all of the star sign thing, I think that's all just imagination and cultural fun, as opposed to anything that actually speaks to the reality of what is going on. So, my question to you would be, how do you know that these star signs have anything to do with reality or anything that's actually going on?
Well, because we have a mindset, a body that is in the character, and that it's in how we act and how we see things,
Okay,
and that goes up into the universe as well too, what's known as stars and constellations.
right.
The
But
science has proven that as well too, because they go up into the stars all the time and check it out.
yeah, so I know that, so at least in the scientific data I've seen, when people have tried to demonstrate that star signs actually speak to anything that's going on in reality, what we
Yeah.
found is that the attributes that tend to be listed under, say, what a Capricorn is, or what uh, a Taurus is, these tend to be very vague and will essentially apply to anyone who believes that they are that thing. So if you happen to be born, in this month, you will believe that these traits kind of fall in line with you, and they kind of glom onto those traits. And we kind of tell each other socially that those traits are kind of what we are. But me personally, like, I'm different than you, where I say, well, those traits have nothing to do with reality. They're just kind of good guesses at what most people have in their systems anyway. But I think it's interesting to have a first form discussion and your take on this, because I will be interested, after we have a few conversations, if your perspective or my perspective changes on this at all through having
So go
conversations.
my cat in the bedroom. I'll be right back very
Yeah,
quickly.
sure.
He's saying, "Let me in the bedroom. I'll be right back." I'll be.
Yeah, cool. How's it going,
Back.
chat? Iron Charioteer says, Pangburn, you are awesome. Oh, thanks, brother. Um, it,
Okay, here I come. Incoming. I'm
I'm
just
gonna,
behind down here.
yeah, cool. I have one
There you
message
go.
from. Let's hear what Bushcraft has to say. Bushcraft Adventure says, stars are composed of us as much as we are composed of stardust. Separation is an illusion, and interconnected nature of the universe is mind blowing. Yeah, so I would say interconnected um, from the aspect of it's the same stuff, but there is no at least nothing has been demonstrated to connect our minds to what's going on outside of our drive to want to understand what are in stars. Rhys, what do you think our connection is with the cosmos, with the universe?
Well, because all of us end up going up there because of the circle of life. Point A, point B.
Well, let's stick on A for a second. What do you mean
Okay,
by going up there? Do you mean, okay? And let me go a little bit metaphorical with you.
okay,
When we die, our bodies break down, and the dust of what we used to be kind of enters out into the ether. Is that what
yeah,
you mean?
yes.
Okay. Well, I agree with that. 100%.
It goes up because what goes down doesn't stay down. It goes right back up, basically.
Right. So we're talking about material leaving our atmosphere, or even on a larger scale, when our Earth eventually can't sustain life, or depending on what happens, stuff is going to get released back into the atmosphere. Right?
It
Is that,
is
yeah? Okay. Um, Now,
because each of us has a spirit.
Oh, okay. So what do you mean by spirit? That's interesting.
Spirit is what we have inside of us that goes into like emotion
Okay.
as well as expression and feelings is the spirit inside us. We have inside. So
Oh, okay.
there's that.
So
And,
you're talking about the human spirit.
yeah,
Okay,
the
yeah.
inner energy of us.
Okay, and do you mean that metaphorically, like as an idea, or do you think that we have a spirit that kind of enters the ghost realm?
Um, the other one, the
Okay,
spirit that
you think it's
that
more of a
enters.
metaphor, an idea.
Uh, it's not really an idea. It's more like you heard of out of body experience.
Sure, yeah, out of body experience is a phenomena that we've
Yeah,
had.
it's kind of like that, but more different.
Okay,
It's
okay,
more like we we leave, and you can you can feel um movement
interesting.
a bit.
Okay, we'll jump back into that. Um, let's talk a little bit about um, Down syndrome.
Okay.
What is Down syndrome?
Down syndrome is an extra chromosome.
Okay,
It's an add-on to the other ones as an XY gene.
right. And and then more let's say more related to what has Down syndrome meant to you in your life, if anything?
Well, what it's meant in my life is just how, I- like, in seeing things, physical things too,
Okay,
and sometimes um, how the body feels.
yeah.
Well,
Okay, so elaborate
physically,
on that. Yeah.
emotionally, and spiritually a bit as well too.
Okay, so this okay, we got let's okay, we're going to back at that in a second here. We got a question from TK Englander at Pangburn. Please ask Reece when he made his first video to entertain or inform anyone, what was it about? Or what was your message to people? Kind of the
Well,
first time you made videos.
the first in like five, the first one happened to be the one that we were in, which was the Possessing a Demons game.
How about let's talk about the
That was
when
the
you
first one.
started creating live streams. How about those?
Um, that was a while back. Can't quite remember, but I know that I started probably in the year of 20 wait, 201. The the year
Okay, yeah, the year. Don't worry about the
I
year,
started
but
doing that
what was like
live streaming.
what made you turn on that camera?
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, we got a bit of
Just
a delay.
because just wanting to show the world what I'm made of, and being and just giving my heart to everyone and having my say go out and for it to reach to a larger community and to others as well too.
Right, and so you wanted to share, you wanted to show the world who you were. Is there anything that you wanted to see changed about the world?
I do. Well, one is what's happening right now, um, and that is wanting to see the COVID-19 to leave completely, and for having the vaccines in and changing it for the better,
Yeah.
changing this part to be better. Other things is to stop war, poverty, um, are the two big ones as well
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I want to see the world change to love one another, unity, peace, and love.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
I think everyone can get on board with that for sure. Can you center yourself in your frame a little bit? Perfect. There we go. Now we can
Yeah.
see all. Now we can see all of you. You've always kept your hair long. You've always liked long hair. Where does that come from?
Well, this I just besides just loving my hair, but I just like having it being with the roots basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
I'll take my thing off here.
Nice. Now you look
But
rock and roll, man.
I used to have long hair a long time ago.
Yeah, okay, here's a question from Iron Charioter. Says at Pangburn, how does a person go about feeling spiritual? How would you answer that, Rhys?
Well, feeling spiritual is the connection between the universe and the spirit realm, which is in the universe that surrounds us.
And can you describe what you think the spirit realm is?
The spirit realm is it's kind of like an endless galaxy that's like a vortex that they can cross over.
Okay, and what is they?
Well, like spirits, ghosts, and other things that we can't see, like certain types of paranormal activity come through that.
Okay, so you mentioned we can't see them. Why don't you think we can see them?
Because they're invisible to us, because we can't see them, because our eyes are not nearest to capture. You know, it had to be captured by a phone or
Right.
something like that. They'll have a mere reflection.
Okay. And uh,
That's how to break the barriers to see them.
so I'm not convinced that anything like that actually exists. How would you convince me?
Because scientists and paranormal investigators step in with their technology, state-of-the-art technology, dowsing devices, and getting actual EVPs
Okay.
and other readings,
Okay.
and crack the barrier to hear ghost sounds and other.
Okay. And when they go out and they do these investigations, because you've probably seen the shows, right? The TV
I
shows
do.
of them.
Yeah,
Okay. When they go out
I
and
used to.
when they go out and do these investigations, um, do you think it's possible? Let's think of it this way: is it possible that there is a much less extraordinary um, reason why they think they are discovering things that are happening? For instance, um, isn't it more reasonable to believe that something naturally occurring could be happening that we just don't know what it is, as opposed to thinking that it's a paranormal realm spirit thing? Oh, I froze Rhys's camera. Did you hear what I asked there, Rhys?
Yeah, I I I heard you there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, my take on that is because seeing is believing, and there's witnesses that have seen it and are telling their story.
Right. But that doesn't like if someone sees something and tells a story. For instance, if let's say I have a dead great grandmother, and I have a picture of her on my wall here, and one day that picture levitates off the wall in front of my computer screen and starts moving like this. And the picture starts talking to me and says, I am the ghost of your great grandmother, and I see grave danger in your future. And then it goes back to the wall and hangs back up. Isn't it more reasonable that I had just hallucinated there? Or,
That
or
would be an hallucinogen.
Right, like if I like, isn't it more reasonable to look at that as okay? First of all, we don't know what happened, but the
Yeah.
plausible answer is that I hallucinated or dreamt that that happened.
Yes.
So my point on this is that when someone goes into, say, like these shows do, they go into a dark room and then they say, oh look, my EVP meter is going all over the place, or I just heard a sound over there. Like if you hear a sound over there in the house, like it might have been a raccoon, right?
It could have been, yeah. It could have been.
So my thing is that sure, it's possible that it was a ghost of some kind, but in science, we're more interested in what's plausible, right? So if
Yes.
we hear a sound over there, that's not enough evidence to prove that
No.
ghosts exist.
It has to be with a dowsing devices in order to pick up stuff like that.
Right. Have you ever researched what like the scientific community in general has to say about dowsing devices? Cuz in general, they say that it's like all bullshit.
Depends on the dowsing device, but when they talk about their equipment,
Yeah.
a lot of it is like state of the art, like EVP meters and
Yeah.
certain kinds of pods and lights, like stuff like that, cannot be fabricated through any sort of interference.
I'm going to look up
It'll have to be direct.
I'm going to look up dowsing devices here just to add some context to our conversation.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, dowsing devices. Uh, Interesting.
You'll find a lot.
I thought there was going to be some, but I know. So the amazing James Randi, who I've produced live events with, he actually used to do a talk on dowsing devices and how they became this worldwide phenomenon. People would sell them and make all this money off them, but and he would create this he had this show basically that if someone could come on the show and demonstrate that these things actually worked in a scientifically controlled trial, if they could actually demonstrate that they would work, he would write them $1 million check. And no one in the history of that show was able to demonstrate that dowsing actually does work. So do you think that it's they just had the wrong equipment, or maybe dowsing doesn't work like people have claimed?
Well, it depends on what the equipment is and on the age of the equipment.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay, that gives us a good starting point for kind of the supernatural realm. When we have our next conversation, we can move. We can be more specific about the topics that we're going to touch, and then we can go into them in more detail. I think is a good idea. Okay, so we talked about Down syndrome a bit. Um, do you think do you think in general people treat you differently because you have Down syndrome? And do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing?
So. I get, besides this positivity, I get looks, strange looks.
Yeah.
Sometimes either judgment, sometimes all the time. Not labeling, but like they like say things and like lead me on and not want to do things.
Like lead you
Like
on like
they don't see me um like I'm fit in certain things.
okay. Are you talking
Like being judgmental. It's more like being like judgmental.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I get it. I get it. That people are judgmental. When you were talking there, I felt like you were alluding a bit to relationship. Is that where you were
No.
going? No?
No,
Okay,
not
okay.
in relationship. It was into what I get being here um as an individual. Like I've been judged, um I've been told things besides as certain people have discriminated me in in certain places or whatever like that, and just I just don't like it.
What kind of what
They need to stop that.
give us some examples of what kind of things would be said to you, like the kind of things.
Well, like here's an example where I used to work.
Yeah.
Um, when I used to work at the Savoy, I
Okay.
was told by one person, who I'm not going to mention that person out of safety reasons,
Yeah.
but the head of the kitchen there um said you had to be big, you had to be tall, you have to be more fatter.
You had to be heavier.
Yeah,
So you weren't tall enough, you weren't big enough, and you just weren't
yeah,
heavy enough to work there.
yeah.
And what was the job?
It was working in the kitchen as a dishwasher washer and food prep. I love it.
Oh, and what was the argument? Let's apply some rationality to this. What was the argument as to why you had to be bigger? Was there any
In order to
rationality behind that?
reach things and to put things up on taller places.
Oh, okay. So
I can't help who I am.
right. So did you find yourself?
That's
Yeah,
discrimination.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. I'm there with you. Did you find yourself um, having to ask other workers to lift and grab things for you, or to put things up for you?
Sometimes, but I can rely on myself a bit to just use things to my advantage.
Yeah,
Very materialistic and just do what I can. But if I couldn't do it, I would ask really nicely if they could help me out a little bit. But I've done everything. I'm a
yeah.
really good worker, and I had drive. I was a really, really good worker.
Right.
And then when that happened, I was like, oh,
That's frustrating.
I I don't like this kind of treatment.
Yeah. And do you think it had? Do you suspect it had anything to do with your Down syndrome, or do you think it had more? Do you think it actually had to do with your size as a human being?
Little bit of both.
Okay, because you think maybe they thought you were more difficult as an employee because of your Down syndrome.
Oh,
A little bit.
probably
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
and that and obviously that frustrated you. No one likes to be discriminated against
No,
or feel that way.
no one needs discrimination. I'm against it
Yeah.
completely.
Um Okay, we got a comment from TK Englander says at Pangburn, please let Reece know. I'm sorry people have said rude things to him and discriminated against him. They shouldn't do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can get on board with that. Um, yeah, so obviously you've had potentially, it's hard for us to sit here and speculate what people are thinking when they make like workplace decisions and
Definitely.
things like that, but you have had your experience, and people's
Yeah.
individual experiences are valid to them even if it turns out to be a wrong interpretation of what was actually going on. But in this case, you feel like you were discriminated against.
Yeah, and discriminating or being point my fingers at and
Yeah.
just made me feel like I was not wanted.
And then you ended up losing your job from this, right?
Yeah, I it was
Yeah.
exactly
And how hard is it for you to find a job?
really hard.
Yeah.
I can't find work here.
Yeah.
Um, I want to work, but I can't find it. And if I end up do getting one, that what's the chance they'll do that same thing to me?
Right. So
Because
you
I used to work in many places before, and they either had wrongfully accused me of things that they shouldn't have wrongfully, and
right.
I didn't do them.
So what kind of things would they accuse you of?
Well, of
You can tell me anything. You can tell us anything, man.
okay, well, I was told that I was being um doing things sexual with others
Really?
at work. Yeah,
So
like being inappropriate, which is not true at all. That's
oh,
just
wow. So they
I
made
hate it.
so they made claims about you being sexual in some way,
Yeah,
inappropriate, and that
and
was a
I never bring that in the workforce. I never do. I leave
right,
that as private,
right,
not bring it to the workplace. And I don't like how they accuse me of that. That's wrong.
right. And did they have any evidence?
No evidence
Right.
to back
So
it up.
you value evidence when it comes to the truth of claims, right?
Yes,
Right. So, and this is something, and I'm sorry that happened to you. It's like those kind of claims against someone, if they are untrue, they can really ruin someone's life, right?
exactly. And that's the reason why I'm unable to not just to find work, but unable to work due to the fact of essentially as that they drew the picture black for me.
Right. Can you say that part just again, just because we lost you for a second there?
Well, it's like it went to me mentally um and had drawn a picture black of either finding a job and working at a job, knowing of what has happened in the past, to where I just don't see a job in front of me,
Right.
and it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
I want to work
Yeah.
and do it.
So yeah, that's terrible that's happened. Like
Yeah.
if someone was to be able to find you a job where you live, what kind of work would you ideally do for your day job?
Well, janitorial. I love to clean.
Yeah.
Um, as well as well, mainly janitorial.
Yeah.
Um, that's pretty much it right there.
Yeah, janitorial work. Okay, and I'm gonna I'm gonna put this out there that uh, I'm going to do a little bit of research for you and see
Thank
what's
you.
out there in your area.
I
Just to
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
yeah, because no one being out of work is tough, man.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm able to to do things. The one time had someone do a GoFundMe page to help me out.
right. Yeah, I think I
Oh,
remember when you created that. I do.
yeah.
Um, okay. Uh, so we talked a little bit about so you were accused of doing things at work that were inappropriate sexually.
Yeah.
This is kind of a it's kind of in the same realm. But what has your sex life been like in your life? Have you have you had many partners? Have you experienced much in that realm?
Um, no.
No.
And I
Is it difficult to talk about?
Yes, it is because I'm going through a lot in terms of that as well too.
Yeah.
In terms of what's going on, and I just don't want to care. I don't really care to elaborate about that part.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's fine. Um, the reason why I asked is um, it's I think it's an important part of life for people to reach high levels of fruitfulness,
yeah,
people's sex life, right?
I agree.
And
I
yeah, and I think tapping into at least a healthy version of that throughout your life, I think, is important. And and do you think you having Down syndrome impedes your ability to be out there in the dating world or to experience love
oh,
life?
a little bit,
Yeah,
but I know that what I long for is like a relationship. I don't mind talking about relationships um in in else, but not about the sexual part of it all. Because the main thing is I don't think about um sex all the time.
yeah,
I look at the bigger picture on the beauty
hmm,
on the person,
yeah,
not about the sex. That comes later on,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Which is you don't want to rush into it.
yeah,
So I take in consideration of the beauty, the togetherness, and that's about it, and then the rest will follow from there.
yeah. That's a good philosophy. And have you found someone that you've fallen in love with before?
I have, yes.
Yeah. And what's that experience like? Like the early stages of being in love?
Um, it was. I'm st- I'm still here. I'm just trying to think here.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Take your time, man.
It was a good feeling. It
Yeah.
was a good feeling.
What
But the thing is,
describe go back in your mind to those initial stages when you first in your life when you first fell in love with another. What was take us through that thought process?
closing my eyes and picturing it right now.
Hmm.
Before it was bliss.
And was it reciprocal? Did the other person feel that way about you?
No,
And why don't you think they did?
because of strong, certain dark feelings.
Right. Um, so what you've just described there is a very human thing that I think everyone can relate to. You know, when you fall in love with another and they don't reciprocate. They don't feel the same way about you. That's
Did,
that's
did
tough.
before, but then it reversed itself.
Okay. Then it reversed itself. And then what did it become?
Then it became something that I just wanted to get away from,
Yeah.
and wanted to get into. Um, let me let me think here. Into more of a nicer one, a nicer one.
Yeah.
More of a nurturing one compared compared to others.
Right. I lost you for a second there, but you like just having a nice environment where you feel happy and safe. Like that's important to you, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's number one is my freedom.
Yeah.
Um,
So you
and
like to when you say freedom, you like to have the freedom to do what?
freedom to do things a lot more than right now.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Um, let's jump to this, and then I got now. If you think we've touched difficult topics, man, I got a real zinger for you at the end here. But let's
Okay.
but let's talk about this one first. What do you think about death?
Oh boy. And the reason I say oh boy to that is a difficult one for me. But because the thing is, I to be honest, I don't like it.
Yeah,
Thing is, it does happen.
yeah.
And I accept it, even though um just don't like the feeling and
Is it
just
does it scare you that you're gonna die?
does.
Yeah. And what do you think that plays into you wanting to think about things and be creative about the spirit realm and spirit realms that are kind of eternal and things like this? Do you think that plays into that?
Does
Yeah.
because it's all linked with that too.
So that brings you some comfort, right?
Does, yeah.
Yeah.
I meditate and I pray, and I changed my life for the better by doing meditation.
Meditation is an excellent thing to do for one's mental
Never
health.
once had medication, never over the counter, no any pain stuff at all, completely.
Hmm.
Ever since I devoted to meditation, I changed my health that way. I would like to see other things change, like my mental state.
Yeah.
This goes into depression. I want to see that changed without um doctor's medication. I would sooner want to go on something natural than popping an antidepressant.
Okay. Well, one thing I will tell you about that, Reese, is that um, doctors go through years and years of training to
Yeah,
understand the the human biology and what we generally need, right?
yeah,
Um, and and they, in general, and this is a big generalization, but in general, doctors know best, right? And I know there is a lot of
yeah.
anti-medication rhetoric out there, but being someone like you mentioned that you suffer from clinical depression, um, there may come a time where a doctor may recommend this to do a trial on a medication. Um, and my thing is that doctors would never suggest anything like that if it was going to harm you, right? And there are a lot of people out there that are going to say, oh, yeah, I had this terrible experience with that. I had this terrible experience with this. But the doctors are trained not to take people's subjective experiences as scientific fact. They
Hmm.
actually are trained to overcome the emotional aspect of people's experiences with medications. And they overcome that, and then they don't allow that to affect their doctoral care for you. So you you know, don't allow your skepticism to fall into cynicism when it comes to what doctoral care is prescribing for you. That would be my advice when it comes to just navigating mental health. Because I will tell you that I am on an antidepressant, and I
Oh,
don't think I would be alive without it, to be honest. So, and I understand where you're coming from. It doesn't feel good, especially initially, to feel like you are living a medicated life, right? It feels like you
yeah,
want to live a real life. But one thing to understand is that the medication is designed not to take away your real life. It's to mitigate suffering in your life, to improve your well-being. So, and I hope that doctors would have these conversations with you, but I understand that, you don't have the medical resources that many others have that live in bigger cities and things like that. But I think
yeah.
we should continue to have conversations about this because, and I'm not trying to prescribe you with anything or anything like that. He needs
Yeah.
3,000 cc's of liquor and marijuana stat.
I was, want to do the what did they say? Everyone is saying if you do like CBD,
Yeah, there's some initial trials that have showed that.
it's a better one than other things.
Yeah, there are some trials that have showed that CBD can be beneficial to people who suffer from severe clinical depression. Though it tends to not be very proactive in that. But we've delved into a lot. Again, this is more groundwork for us to work on and continue this conversation in the future. Um, okay, let's get into this topic. Let's see where we're at for time. We are. Let me see here. We've been having a good. This has been going for 2 hours. I think we've been having a conversation for an hour, which is awesome.
Cool.
Um, let's deal with this now. This is going to be a tough topic. Maybe not for you. Maybe you've thought through this, but here's what we're going to talk about. This is the big topic for today: abortion of Down syndrome fetuses. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm going to read an excerpt from an opinion piece that came out in the Washington Post in 2018, March 9th, by Ruth Marcus. And I'm going to read some of this, and then I want to get your response to it. Okay, Rhys?
Okay.
So Ruth says there is a new push in anti-abortion circles to pass state laws aimed at barring women from terminating their pregnancies after the fetus has been determined to have Down syndrome. So essentially, there is a new push from the anti-abortion community to put in laws that say you can't abort a fetus just because you find out that it has Down syndrome. She goes on to say this is a difficult subject to discuss because there are so many parents who have and cherish a child with Down syndrome, like
Hmm.
your parents, right? Presumably.
Yeah.
Many people with Down syndrome live happy and fulfilled lives, like you. The
I
new
think.
Gerber baby with Down syndrome is awfully cute, she continues to say. And
Oh.
I would agree. Um, she says, I have two children. I was old enough when I became pregnant that it made sense to do the testing for Down syndrome. Back then, it was amino paracentesis performed after 15 weeks, now chorionic villus sampling can provide a conclusive determination as early as 9 weeks. I can say without hesitation, she says, that tragic as it would have felt and ghastly as a second trimester abortion would have been, I would have terminated those pregnancies had the testing come back positive. So essentially, she's saying, when I was having my children, if I would have found out early on that my baby would have had Down syndrome, I would have aborted the fetus. What do you think about that?
Oh, geez. Wow. Yikes. Well, the thing is that everyone deserves to have life. And so do babies as well. They are born to this world and need to be a part of our world.
Even if they have Down syndrome.
Yes.
Right.
I speak in behalf of those who have Down syndrome.
Right. Now,
And
let me throw this at you. If a woman, because do you believe that women should be able to have an abortion at any point?
well, is their choice. I don't recommend it because there's life that is given already. It needs to be a part of our community.
So even if the woman was raped and became pregnant and wanted to abort the fetus, you would say she has the right to do that, but you wouldn't recommend it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's another option with that too, is if you don't want to keep the child, let's say, you can easily put it up for an adoption instead of aborting.
Right.
Aborting kills, not life.
So it kills the fetus.
Yes.
And you consider a fetus to be what, a potential life, or do you consider a fetus to be a baby?
A baby. A living baby that will bless this world.
Okay. So I'm clear on your view on that. So you think women should have the right, but it should be avoided. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It should be.
Right. Yeah, and then this idea of, women wanting to have children, like they're ready, they want to have children, they become pregnant, and then they decide, or then all of a sudden their doctor tells them, your baby that you're going to have, or your fetus, or the early stages of your pregnancy, we can determine that the baby will have Down syndrome. Do you think women should be allowed to make the decision to abort that pregnancy, or should they have to go through with it if the baby is going to have Down syndrome?
It's called acceptance.
Right.
Acceptance on what they are, and on, hey, we're having a child. We are happy that we're having one, that we'll do what we can to within our power to embrace, nurture, and support.
Right. Okay. I'm clear on your views on that. I did, for those of you listening, I did a full podcast episode on abortion itself. You can find that at youtube.com/Pangburn. Go into the podcast section and you will see it labeled abortion, big red letters. And you will get my take. And I won't waste your time with that now. The Angry Plumber says, Trump 2020 in the chat. Rhys, tell me. Okay, I gotta play this for everyone. You might not be able to hear this, but I gotta set this up. You told this joke the other night, and I killed
Here to
myself
do a
laughing.
little
Okay,
short
wait.
live stream.
I gotta start this from the beginning, and I'm gonna show everyone this. I gotta pull up the little video thing. You'll be able to see this after, Rhys, but I have this little
Okay.
window open. But I'm gonna let everyone see your joke about rice noodles. Okay, I'm playing it
Okay.
right now.
Here to do a little short. I love joking around. I love joking.
Okay,
Okay,
Good
so what
sense
is
of
it?
humor.
Well, guess what?
okay, I'm gonna start
There's
it again.
one
We just have to be quiet for a second.
here to do a little short live stream just for you. Okay, so what is it? Well, guess what? There's one thing I gotta say. Goes into noodles. Rice noodles. You guys heard of rice noodles? Well, guess what? I've got rice noodles right here. LOL. You thought I had rice noodles, right? Well, here we got the rice and the noodles just right here.
My favorite part about that, Rhys, is when you is it's not necessarily the rice noodles, but when you point at it and you say LOL, I think that is hilarious. That's gold. But you guys,
laughing out loud.
yeah, guys, if you want more, if you want to see Rhys's content and his live streams, they really are awesome. You go to facebook.com/Rhys.Nybo. You can see that right below Rhys's window in the podcast window here. Let's see, Rhys, do you have any, based on this conversation we've had today, do you have any questions that you want to ask me?
Yeah, there is a few.
Sure.
And that is when did you start getting yourself onto a YouTube?
The channel's been up and running for about 3 years now. Yeah, so about 3 years. If you guys want to see my first video, I don't know why, like in 3 years, I feel like I've aged like 70,000 years. But if you go to the first video on this channel, you can see my baby faced first video. And I even forget what the video is, but I think we watched it last live stream. But yeah, Rhys, this has been going on for about 3 years, this channel, and
Cool.
I was able to
I'm digging
attract
it.
a lot of followers through the live events I produced, um, and yeah, so it's rolling right along, and discussions like this I think are really important, and I want to start doing more, and of course more with you because I find you so interesting,
That'd be
Rhys.
amazing.
Yeah,
I would love to do more of this with you and other and collab with
yeah,
you and what you do. I
and
would like to be good to like maybe like have you on my YouTube channel
yeah, of course.
and you on mine. You know, like
Yeah,
to team up.
yeah,
I would
and
love that.
I think that's a really good idea.
And to share ideas.
And I think like I've you kind of got thrown into the fire today because I don't think you normally have conversations like this, do you?
I love
I
conversating.
know, and
I
you
love
do,
it.
but do you get many opportunities to have conversations like this?
No, this
Yeah,
is my first time, and I feel so happy and I feel so blessed.
yeah, cool.
From
Well,
my heart to you and everyone through this live stream pod.
yeah,
You're such a love, Travis. Thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Well,
Love you.
dude, I love you too, and
You're welcome.
I've really appreciated this conversation. We have so much to touch on and go and so many places to go in our next conversation together. And I think we've laid a lot of good groundwork for avenues to go down. My interpretation of your thinking, as far as the ideological realm goes, I think that I think that the fear of death has driven you to believe a lot of pseudoscientific things in the spirit realm, the mystical realm of things, believe those things to be actually true in reality. But and I think
True or not true?
yeah, and um, I think you have found a lot of comfort in your life believing in those things, and and I want to explore that more to see if there's a way that you can believe like I do as far as when it comes to science and what science can confirm. I want to see how far we can push the envelope to see if you can get to a place where you don't have to believe in anything that's unsubstantiated from a scientific perspective. And where I want to get to from your perspective, what I can learn from you is to be more genuine like you are in every one of your live streams.
Well, thank
like
you.
like
That's
to
very touching, Travis.
Yeah, like I want to be able to unmask to the level that you unmask when you turn on your camera. That's what I value and what I think I can learn a lot from you moving forward. But dude, this has been an awesome conversation. I hope people enjoyed it. It's so much different than what this channel is used to. Like literally, we just had Lawrence Krauss, the world famous theoretical physicist, on, and then we went straight to Rhys Nybo. So we went
Aw.
Jordan Peterson, Richard Dawkins, Lawrence Krauss, Matt Dillahunty. So world philosophers, scientists, thinkers, to DJ Volpix, Rhys Nybo. And honestly, man, you still fascinate me every time I get to have a conversation with you.
Well,
And
thank you.
I appreciate everything. We went into some difficult topics today. I wanted to
We
get
did.
your take on them, and I think we did.
Awesome.
But thank you so much, Rhys. We're gonna go into. I'm gonna let you go, and we're gonna go into a after talk conversation. We had about 1,500 people in the room this whole time. Um, and yeah, let's do this again soon. And podcast number 45 is now in the books. Thanks, Rhys.
You're very much welcome. My pleasure.
All right, guys, that was Rhys Nybo. What a guy! What a guy. Okay, now I need to do this, which is window capture. Turn that off. Perfect. There we go. All right, Rhys. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. So we got to see, um, we got a good sneak peek into Rhys's mind there, how it operates, his level of critical thinking, the kind of belief systems Rhys has glommed onto, which he finds care in. Or sorry, where the kind of belief systems he gains a lot of pleasure from, and that's something I'm going to talk a lot about in my book when I talk about the about belief systems in general and how to apply skepticism to them, and getting over the hurdles of wanting the things you imagine to be real, and the realities of what is actually going on, determined by the scientific method. We want some of those things not to be reality, such as, things die. There's no evidence of a spirit realm. There's no evidence that anything happens to us after we die. It's just lights out. And people have proposed different ideas of, oh, maybe this happens when you die, maybe this happens. And of course, guys, because of the existence of the matrix hypothesis, anything is possible. But obviously, when we're thinking on things and applying logic to it, we want to know what's plausible, right? So that's my goal here. And just delving into Rhys's life is interesting to me. His whole journey. I want you guys to, if you can, go over to his Facebook page, like his Facebook page, engage with him, engage with his live streams. It's great. It truly is you get a lot out of watching his live streams, and it's hard to explain. You just have to it's just inspiring. That's all. That's the only way I can put it. He's a really inspiring individual, and that's why I wanted to have him on today, for sure. Let's see what you guys have been doing in the chat. Lots of different discussions going on. TK Englander says, at Pangburn, I hope you can help Rhys find a job. That would be superb. Yeah, anyone who is kind of connected to Rhys's life, who knows where Rhys lives, and put in a bit of effort to give the guy a hand. Let's help him get some work. Thomas Anderson says, Pangburn talks about spirit realms with such skepticism and doubt. Yeah, it's like you're listing skepticism as a bad thing, but let's see. A spirit realm isn't some Mortal Kombat nonsense. It can be directly experienced via meditation and various other means. If you're talking about feeling mystical experiences through meditation, that's different than an actual realm existing. If you're talking about an actual realm existing, that has to be demonstrated. Iron Charioteer says, at Thomas Anderson, go to bed and try to think of bringing humanity together instead of apart. Fucktard. Well, it looks like things got heated between Thomas Anderson and Iron Charioteer for sure. Thank you guys for engaging in the chat. This was a great show. It was exciting for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Wait, Thomas Anderson says that's the straw man of the atheist. What exactly is the straw man? I just must hear this. Now we're seeing arguments from authority. Thomas Anderson says, Iron Charioteer, of course I study Greek philosophy very deeply. The straw man is an actual realm existing. Well, if you're going to claim that an actual realm exists, then it has to be demonstrated. If you're talking about metaphor, then everyone agrees that we can create metaphors of spirituality, and they can exist in our mind. That's not what you're confusing the context of the conversation to try to make it seem like people who claim like, oh, I think there's spirits in this spirit realm. You're trying to act like they're not claiming that it's actually in reality. That's not what's going on. Rhys was referencing like the ghost shows where they're like using dowsing and all this other stuff to try and demonstrate that these things actually exist. But the fact is any peer review of any of these studies or discoveries that have been made about any kind of spirit realm hasn't made it past the place of hypothesis. It just is still there. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for engaging. This has been the Pangburn Podcast. And as always, let art and science inspire. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you subscribe. Thanks, guys.